Welcome back, fellow mutants and mortals. Have you ever asked yourself the question, what spooky Halloween classic have I not yet seen, or is perhaps lost in time? We'll look no further because today we delve into a Halloween classic, The Halloween Tree, a movie that explores the rich history of Halloween through a tale of adventure and friendship. Join me as we uncover why this film remains a haunting yet special tale and one of my personal favourites. The movie is based on the Halloween Tree novel written by Ray Bradbury in 1972. Hanna-Barbera later adapted the book into a movie in 1993. The book is slightly different from the movie, but the main motive is still there. The Halloween Tree is animated in a beautiful style and now very reminiscent of old-style animations. The Halloween Tree is no ordinary tale, as the story is inspired by the terrifying Samhain and the history of Halloween. During the movie we hear some narration which is beautiful and spooky at the same time. Composer John Debney also wrote a beautiful, eerie soundtrack for the movie, which really adds to the feeling of being alone on a Halloween night. The main themes in this film are friendship, bravery, history and adventure, and this animation takes you on a journey with each chapter taking you through another part of Halloween history. In the quintessential small American town, four friends, Jenny, Ralph, Wally and Tom, prepare for a Halloween adventure, unaware that it will take them through time to learn the true meaning of their costumes and the holiday itself. Upon getting ready for a night of trick-or-treating, Jenny, Ralph, Wally and Tom make their way to their friend Pipkin's house, only to discover him being taken away in an ambulance. Not wanting to start Halloween without their friend Pip, they head to the hospital, but they take a shortcut through the spooky, dark ravine. They spot a ghostly Pip and convince themselves that he is playing a trick on them, so they follow him towards a haunted-looking mansion. Here we are introduced to the infamous Carapace Clavicle Mindshroud. They realize Mr. Mindshroud is after Pip's soul, so the kids strike up a deal with Mr. Mindshroud to save Pip, with one condition: the children will learn the meaning of Halloween. This is the beginning of their wild adventure. Mr. Mindshroud and the four kids travel back 4,000 years in the past. Through the swirling time tunnel, they reach each destination. As they arrive at the first location, ancient Egypt, the air is filled with the scent of spices and a distant sound of ritualistic music, transporting them and us into the heart of Halloween's ancestral celebrations. They travel through ancient Egypt to learn of the celebration called the Feast of the Ghosts. Following Pip's spirit to a tomb in a pyramid, they learn about the significance of mummification. Ralph finds a weak-spirited Pip and begs him to come back. The group scares away the priest trying to embalm Pip, and Pip disappears again. Following Pip, they arrive at Stonehenge during the Dark Ages. They witness rituals carried out by Celtic druids and villagers of the old Celtic world. As Mr. Mindshroud teaches them, Pip briefly appears as a black cat. They come across a field of straw being harvested and made into brooms and discover a coven of witches, chanting and celebrating the new year. Mindshroud helps the children escape a mob of anti-witch villagers by making their brooms fly. Continuing the wild goose chase, they follow Pip to France and arrive at the unfinished Notre Dame Cathedral. Here they learn of the cathedral's use of gargoyles and demons. The children use Mr. Mindshroud's magic to finish the cathedral, and Wally climbs to reach a Pip-shaped gargoyle that is holding Pip's pumpkin. He begs Pip to be strong. Pip flees for a fourth time, and the children follow. Finally, in Mexico, they learn about the significance of skeletons during Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead festival. The streets are brightly decorated and music breathes life into the air. The children continue to look for Pip in the catacombs. Here, Tom learns that Halloween is not all about tricks and treats, but it is about facing death and not fearing it. Once Tom reaches Pip, Tom apologizes to him as he believes that Pip got sick due to a wish that he had made. Pip smiles and forgives him, then Pip's spirit crumbles into dust and is gone. Okay, so all the fun and games are over. The journey took us to ancient Egypt, the witch trials of the Dark Ages, to the holy sanctuary of France, and lastly to a vibrant celebration of the Day of the Dead in Mexico. And in the end, the children are tricked by Mr. Mindshroud. If they want to save their friend, they must give something of theirs up. Something precious. If you don't want to know what happens at the end of the movie, I suggest you skip to the next chapter of the video. Okay, assuming if you're still watching this, you want to know the end. So the children have to make a sacrifice. 4 friends sacrifice a year from the end of their lives to save Pip's soul, and Mr. Mountjoy, being a good businessman, he takes a deal. 4 souls for the price of 1. The movie ends with the children returning home, including Pip. So what makes this animation stand out from the rest is that as a child, growing up and watching this every Halloween was and remains a special memory. The impact this movie makes on you as a kid is something else. Not only does it have the mystical allure of Halloween and spooky things, but the bond of friendship seen in this movie is incredible. To know that someday you can have friendships that strong and build a bond with someone who would sacrifice that much for you is a powerful thing. The children in this movie knew that their lives would be a little bit darker without Pip around, so they instead gave a year of their lives away to have many more years with Pip. And that to me is a wonderful thing, and it teaches kids an important lesson about building true friends. And I'm not saying you have to sacrifice your life to prove your friendship, but it's the love that the friends showed for one another. Another strong emotion I feel when watching this movie is nostalgia. Nostalgia for times past. To be a kid again, cycling on my bike as fast as I can, running through fields with a group of friends, going on wild adventures that only you and your friends will ever know about. All of these things make it so special and wild, because you don't really get that in movies nowadays. And lastly, I want to take a moment to appreciate the fact that the movie teaches you the history of the spooky season in other cultures. The history of Halloween is amazing. I think we are so lucky to be able to look back throughout history and see how traditions used to be and how they've changed. I love how we see that in these cultures it wasn't traditional to dress up as scary monsters and eat candy. Instead, it was a day to remember loved ones who have passed, and not to be afraid of death, but instead to acknowledge it. So as we begin to wrap up this Halloween adventure, the Halloween tree shows us that Halloween is more than just about costumes and candy. It's a deep dive into history, culture, and the human experience. So what are your favourite aspects of Halloween? Please share them in the comments below. For example, mine would have to be how the season changes during Halloween, how the leaves fall, and the nights get darker and the moon gets fuller. So if you're looking for a nostalgic, animated Halloween movie to add to your list, the Halloween tree is one not to miss. Full of mystery, history, spookiness, and most importantly, friendship. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to comment down below your favourite Halloween movie. It doesn't even have to be spooky. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you again real soon. Farewell.